Morning, welcome to episode 33, I think we're on now. So Friday morning, 8th of August. So last weekend, got the bee post on, that's all on, done all that. I redid those two little stitch welds up here. Sorry, I redid the two little plug welds there, stitch weld there. I was looking at this, that's slightly in the wrong place, because when that's back on in the right place there, that needs to be about a centimetre further back, but I don't think we use it, so I don't think it matters for my car. I think it's to hold the ECU down for the V8 on the old style, the hard dash. Or is it the air suspension ECU? Might be the air suspension ECU. Of course, it's not air suspension, so it doesn't really matter. Again, I think these are relays for the air suspension. Can't remember what that one's for. But yeah, I might just, before I put this in, move it back just a little bit. But anyway, that's another day. What we're on at the moment now is, now I've done the B post. So the B post is done, it's all done round here. That's in the right place. I tried the doors on. The rear door's spot on. The front door wasn't quite right because the air post had moved, because the air post isn't attached at all. So when we got the weight of the front door on, which of course is heavier, it was just dropping slightly so it wouldn't latch on the catch. Because of course there's nothing attaching the air post, and all that front wing is rotten. So it was just flexing a bit. So now, I cut out that wheel arch, got the new wheel arch ready. Yesterday I de-rusted, I've put the de-rust stuff on. I'm now going to put some weld-through primer on. I've got a little repair section for where I've cut out the rot on this C-pillar. And then I'm going to weld across there. There's a plate, there's like a reinforced plate behind the door catch here. So there's two bits under there. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it. Let's get the light on. If I get you in the right place now. There you go. So that's looking up. So you can see there's like an extra lip where the bolt goes through. And then I've just de-rusted at the bottom of the C-pillar. And then I've made a little lip on there, so that'll fit behind, and then I can seam weld along that edge, and then when I've got that done and that's fixed there, a little bit there, bash these two corners then into place, weld around there, then trim the bottom bit so it fits quite nicely. So in here I've just chopped out that bit that's all bottom, and there's a gap, so I've got to fill that in. And again, I'll do that before I put, before I put this on, just because it's easier to get to. And then I want to make up this rear closing piece, which is here, that I've cut off. So as you can see, there's a lot missing there. Let's get the light. So there we go, so that's what I've cut off. So I've got to make that piece up, so it should come all the way over to here. So you can see there's a lot missing, so I've got to make that up. And then before I put that on, I want to get some treatment down there, get some paint down there, see if I can scrape off that loose stuff. And then this outer sill section has only got half the holes through for fixing the trim cover on, which is over there. So again, before I put this rear bit on, today's job is to put that on, get those holes drilled, blow all the debris through so it's out, get some painting around here on the inside of that inner sill section, because again there'll be bits just here where I've welded through, where my fingers are, like under here, that need a bit of paint on. And then I want to weld that on. That'll need spot welding, plug welding to that piece, so I've got to be careful doing that, because the mounting rubber's on the inside. Don't want to melt it. And then I can weld in the arch section. So here's the new one. So it does sort of go up. I need 2 ends of set. There we go. I had to bash that edge flat. But you can see it's sort of like, it needs positioning. I'll have to try the outer wing on before I weld it on, to make sure those holes are in the right place. And that bottom edge, I reckon that should be square. And it's just a poor panel, isn't it? It's the way they do it. So yeah, a few bits of fettling, less talking, to get on with stuff. There we go. So I just made up that piece under there. Needs a little bit more fettling once I've got a few tacks on. Like that, just needs to go back just a little bit there. But that ain't far off. In fact, I'll just grind a bit more off that before I do that. Just on that corner. Yeah, that's not bad, that. This piece I'll do from the top once I've done that one. So it needs a bit more grinding off, and it needs zinc prime on the inside, and then I've zinc primed all this and up that C-pillar. Now if I just take that off again, I've also got some, you can't see properly, paint down there. Yeah, put some paint down there, clean that out, and I've had to bash that little bit of a lip flat. I will dress that a bit more yet and get that square, because it's not square, it's got a bit of a shape in it. So yeah, I just need a bit more off that corner and then try it in again. Paint on the back. Yeah, not bad. You can't buy this piece for this car. You can buy them for the early ones. Oh, it's 12 o'clock, 12 noon. Just welded that bit in, ground it back. That'll need a little bit of filler over it probably when I come to do all the painting and everything. Oh, just knocked my light over, never mind. I'm just waiting for the weld through primer to dry on that other bit to do the enclosed piece. It is a bit too long, so I've got to chop just about, can you see? It's perhaps a touch too long, it's about 1 millimetre too long, so I've just got to chop 1 millimetre off the bottom. And then I want to put that enclosed piece on before I put the arch in. Yeah, it's not bad, that. It's alright, there's just a little bit of a step there where I've got my fold, and obviously there's a little gap there, so I might put just a bit more weld in there and a little bit more weld in this bit just to fill that in, and then grind it again. But that edge isn't bad, it just needs a little bit in that corner there. So yeah, I think I'll just do a couple more bits, chop the end off, grind again. But I'll do these other couple bits when I put this piece on. No, I won't, because I've got to do the inside with weld through primer. Because I didn't paint this piece before I put it in, because I can paint up here. Right, a couple more bits of weld, grind them back, and then that'll be alright. I need to do some grinder maintenance. Look, it's plugged in. Cables, well, the that rubber thing's come off, and I don't know whether you can see, cable is probably split, so I need to sort that. So yeah, grinder maintenance time. But I've done those couple of little bits of weld on there, I just wanted to grind them back. I had to change the plug on my finger sander last week because that had all cracked, split. Right, just get this sorted, then lunch. Oh well, time for a new grinder. I've killed the grinder. I have had it a long time. I've probably had it 15 years. So it's just a Silverline, cheapo Silverline, probably from Tool Station. but I paid 20 quid for it. Re-terminated the cable, checked the fuse is okay. Given it all a good clean inside. Electrical contact cleaner, I think the switch has died and the bushes are worn out anyway, so time for a new grinder. That one can go to grinder heaven. Right, lunchtime. So I have already got a new one. I've got this Parkside one that I bought, but it's a bit too big, it's a bit too bulky, and I don't like the trigger. But that'll do for now until I have lunch and go and get another. Right, time for lunch. I've just flatted those wells back where I've just added a bit more on, so it's a bit better. Lunchtime. Right, I had lunch. It's coming up to sort of 2:30, 2:15. I've now got that closing panel welded back in, that one. It still needs a bit more just up there because it keeps blowing through. That's this bit in here underneath that piece on the inside face. So when I close this off, I'll just finish it off. I mean, it's strong enough. So there's 3 plug welds to the body mount, so that's all solid. That's just a groove, it's not a lot, it's not a hole through, it's okay, it's just a groove in the weld, so that'll all fill in and everything will be strong enough. So I'll probably leave it at that for today, and then I've just got to trim that still, and then I'll get the wheel arch on tomorrow. I need to put some paint up there, don't I? Put some paint on that. I'll do that, and then I need to go do some other stuff, so that'll be it for today. See you tomorrow. Well, I still haven't gone back in yet. I've just tried this wing on, that wing. I'd chopped off the bottom of the C-post where it was a bit too long. Tried the wheel arch back in, or this section of the wheel arch. It needed to come backwards a bit more, so then just budged it back a bit more, wing back on. Now it's in the right place, so that is now ready. I've just tried that in as well. Really, you might be able to see there, needs a bit more fettling just in this place here. I can bring that bit of the sill out a bit, this bit, but I'll do that once it's on and get that together better. I've had this last time I did one of these, just had to trim a little bit off the back of here on the sill cover, but that goes in. So now I'll go in. I might do a bit more welding tonight, but probably not actually. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Right, see you tomorrow now. That's enough for today. So welcome back, Saturday morning. It's 5 to 12 and I've just almost finished welding that in. So it's had all the plugs done along the lip. I did them from the inside this time. I prefer doing them from the outside because it's easier to get to, because obviously that's in the way when you're trying to weld this way. When you're welding this way, you can get at it easier. Only trouble is then you've got to drill the new piece, 6 of one and half a dozen of another, and then it's had stitches round and round the bottom. It's a bit messy because it was a bit of a gap here, so I had to do 2 passes. That was a bit messy because it was blowing through, but it'll be alright. And then in there is again a bit difficult to get to. It just needs 1 stitch under there. If I get the torch, so you'll be able to see where we've blown through, where we've come through. So this needs bashing flat, and then it needs a stitch here and a stitch here, and painting obviously. Yeah, it's not bad. Better than it was. Better than it was. Lunchtime. Right, had lunch, 2:30. Done that bit, welded a bit in there, drained that back a bit more so that when I put some filler on it, it's a bit better. Topped up a little bit, and then if I get the light, get it the right way around, There we go. So done a bit up there, and then done another little bit here and filled that in. It's not very pretty down there, but it's difficult to get to. It'll do. Yep, it'll do. Right, bit of paint, as in underseal, not underseal, weld through primer. I need to wire brush that, and then seam seal, and then it can all start to go back together at the back end. That's another coat of weld through primer on, and a bit up there. I've done these bits as well because I've drilled those top holes for the seal cover. I need to try the seal cover on again next, just to see if I need to bash that in a bit more before I put a lot of seam seal on it. Although, having said that, I probably won't do seam. Makes more sense to just seam seal it all in one go, doesn't it? So I think really next, before I do that and put that rear on and put the rear door on, I need to tackle that footwell and the A-pillar. Next weekend probably. So Sunday now, still the same episode, just the final bits on this episode. So it's probably about 4ish. Been tidying, been doing other stuff. No, it's only 3:20. Right. So started work on the A post. So taking off that little bit there. I've taken off the piece here that retains the front wing, or the trailing edge of the front wing, because that all needs painting and fixing at the bottom. It's okay, it just needs all painting. The reason I've taken it off is because this is all dreadful under there, and it's actually quite bad inside there as well. And then I've just unpicked and taken off this repair that had been done there, which is this bit. That was the inside face, so it was that way round inside. So I've just, it was like that. Yeah, so this inside bit, it's all really quite bad. But what I need to do to start with, I'm going to have to replace that bulkhead panel. Dash has got to come out though. Pedal box has got to come out. Front wing's got to come off, but I don't want to do all that just yet. I just want to get this air post attached. What I might do is do the inner face when I've got the dash out, and then for now just fix the outer bit so that at least it's attached and I can hang the door and put a temporary lip on the inside perhaps. I don't know, because I think I'm going to have to unpick and take that inside off, at least up to about there, because I mean it'll probably clean up this piece, but I need to get inside to treat it. You can see the inside is quite bad. So that's the V8 ECU there, AMR, what is it, 3242. So that one I don't need. Or is it this one I don't need? Or is it this one I don't need? I don't need one of them anyway, because normally the ECU would be here on a hard dash, but obviously it's up there, so that needs to come off as well. Right, messing it under here. We'll get it better. That's wiring come out there. Yeah, dash needs to come out. Doing the front wing's not so bad. but obviously the scuttle's got to come off and the bonnet's got to come off to do the front wing. Probably do both front wings together when I do the dash and the bulkhead. But like I said, for now I just want to get this fixed so that that is attached so I can put the door back on. Need to turn it round to do the sill on the other side. I was tempting to not put the brakes back yet until I've done the bulkhead and that inner wing, because master cylinder's going to have to come out, or the ABS modulator. I'm just going to have to bleed it up and then bleed it down again, drain it down, bleed it, fill it up, bleed it, drain it down again. And there's a little piece missing from here. There should be a little return lip there, just filling that gap in there, which is part of the rear wheel arch sill closing bit that I made up. I didn't put that on, so I need to do that. Not today. That's enough for today now. So thanks for watching. See you in the next episode. See you next time.